Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Extra Point, the Beaver edition. Zach McCray in the studio, head coach, and Beaver captain Connor Curnow. How's that? Did I do okay?
Yep, that's good.
Okay. His name is interesting, so we spelled it out play-by-play wise. So that works out good. He's a captain, middle linebacker, or outside linebacker. Did you say either or?
Inside linebacker.
Inside. Yeah. Do you guys run a 4 linebacker defense?
Yep, we do.
Okay. And a wide receiver.
Yep.
So I'll ask you the same question, Connor, that I asked John last week. Which do you like better, offense or defense? Do you like being hit or hitting?
I don't know. I think both are pretty fun, but I always think delivering a hit is just a little bit more fun than getting
a hit. Yeah.
But they're both. I enjoy both a lot. So.
Okay. Well, we'll get back to you a little later. Right now, we want to talk to Zach about football, and not much to say about Friday's game. Little outmanned, suffering through all kinds of injuries. Not very many people suiting up in blue and gold and stuff, and as what you were worried about, facing a very, very good Hamilton team.
Yeah, going into that game, felt really good about our chances. We felt good about our preparation. We just have some things that we have to address for our team to move forward. And I really like the way that our team has responded this week. Anytime you take a drubbing like that, it kind of rocks you to the core, and you always got to look yourself in the mirror and figure out what it is that you can do to improve. You got to be honest with yourself about the things that you're doing, and I have all the faith in the world that between our coaching staff and our players, we'll get this thing figured out. We can make all the excuses in the world that we're a little bit banged up. That we had a guy get dinged out on a close contact the morning of, and so we were down another one, and then obviously a starting middle linebacker and a captain goes down with a knee injury on the opening kickoff, and we can continue to make all those excuses, but it's still football, and we're so fortunate to play a game where they keep score, and you can figure out where you are. You get a weekly test of that, and there's no other guys I'd like to go back to work with than our coaching staff and our players, and got a real gut check. We've always felt like this is about the Dillon Beavers. It's never about who we play, whether that's Whitefish, Hamilton, or Corvallis here. And so we're using this week to really shore up some things on the Dillon Beavers. We got to play with more effort and passion. And guys like the guy next to me, Connor Curnow, is one of those guys we're going to lean on for that effort and that passion. And we know they'll respond to it. And so we don't make any excuses. We are what we put on film, and we got waxed. That's part of the deal. It's about how we pick ourselves back up.
Well, what you're just saying right now reflects back on the first program we had, where you talked about resiliency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And we can face all the challenges that we want. We got the injury bug, and we acknowledge that too. We got a bunch of guys sitting on the sideline that are dying to be out there with us. And we're leaning on some guys that are in positions that they haven't always played. But, Wally, it just always goes back to this is football, and this is fun, and this is cool, and it's exciting to play in front of our fan base, and it's exciting to put on blue and gold. And we just got to go back to that. Football's a lot of fun. You can play with a lot of passion without showing your opponent up. And we're excited to take the field Friday night on the road and get after somebody.
Well, let's talk about Corvallis, your next opponent. They're also 0-2 on the road. So by the time Friday around 10 o'clock rolls around, somebody's going to have their first win.
Yeah, and I think that if we take this thing a day at a time, every opponent we play is going to have tendencies. They're going to have different defenses, different things they do on offense. But one thing we try to preach is that we always play a faceless opponent. And so it doesn't matter what color they are, how big they are. I've been a part of this for a little bit now. It doesn't seem like the Dillon Beavers are always the biggest or fastest team, and we've certainly been in successful situations with that. And so we feel like we have a grasp of what Corvallis is going to do. They went down and played Kellogg, Idaho last week on an away game. It'll be their first home game. I'm sure they'll be fired up. But this is about the Dillon Beavers, and we're going to try to take care of business in the best way we know how.
Well, let's just look at a matchup. How does your offensive scheme match up against their defensive scheme and vice versa?
Yeah, they kind of played two different defenses. Against Hamilton, they were in a little bit of a 4-3, and then against Kellogg, they kind of stuck to a 3-4. And so really it's the two defenses that we play, and so we feel very comfortable with what they're going to do. It's just about executing and doing your job. And offensively, they've moved outside of their old wing tee. They have a new coach there. And so we're excited to play them in a little bit of their spread offense and get after it.
Is the MASH unit on its way over there too?
We sure hope so. My goodness.
So did you talked about a middle linebacker going down.
Yeah.
Was that the opening kickoff?
It was the opening kickoff, yep. Jack Gibson went down with a little bit of an injury, and we're still in the process of evaluating that. I think that, if I know the guys like I think I know them, and I know their heart and I know their character, we are learning a whole bunch of lessons really fast. And so when we do get some of those guys back and we get those reinforcements back, it's going to really give us a boost. And then some of our younger guys will have played some snaps that maybe they wouldn't have had that opportunity before. And so you can always control how you react to things. We're certainly super bummed that some of our guys are missing games. Some of our seniors are missing some games. But again, football is really cool and it's really fun. And so we can make all the excuses we want. We're bummed that we're not going to have a few out there, but we're just going to pick up the pieces and move forward.
Well, you talked about the younger guys getting those snaps. Those come in valuable towards the end of the season because now you've got your depth is better because guys that maybe wouldn't have played very much have got to play.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's always special anytime you get to put on the blue and gold. When we ask for your services a little bit earlier, I know that our Froshmore coaches are kind of hiding from us varsity coaches because every time we talk to them, we're taking one of their players. So they're hiding from us a little bit. But, boy, these guys do such a good job on welcoming people. And we're the Dillon Beavers. There's not really too many seniors, juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. We're all chasing the same goal, and our seniors on down from our freshmen, they're treated the same way. We have such great leadership, starting with this guy and the guy that we had last week of just making them understand that we need you. And if we need you in a Froshmore game, you got to step up. And if your number is called in a varsity game, the expectations remain the same.
So Froshmore's limited to how many games they can play?
They get quarters, so you get 8 quarters a week. We were a little bit tentative to play them last Friday night because they had went up and played the Butte freshmen on Thursday night, and so to play back-to-back nights, we were pretty conscious of how many snaps those young guys were getting. But they're up in Hamilton right now. They kicked off at 4:30. I'll be interested to see how they did. But you get 8 quarters, and they'll have a couple days of rest, and so there's no restrictions there.
Okay, well, we're going to come back and talk to Captain Connor, but we're going to take a break first on Extra Point. Back to Extra Point now, and before we talk to Connor, Zach just had told me in our break that a game has been added to the Beaver schedule.
Yeah, we're awfully excited. The way that we got 13 teams in the West right now, and so scheduling has been a little bit of a challenge. And so when our ADs met early in the summer, we kind of got our choice at an 8-game or a 9-game schedule, and we chose to do an 8-game schedule in case our bye came week 1 or week 2, and then we would take it. But, by week 4, we kind of had some feelers out if anybody from the East wanted to play. I remember, a couple years ago before these guys' time that generally our first 3 games or our first 2 games were against Eastern opponents, and so we could cross over and see them, and an opportunity arose to play Sydney. They actually initiated most of it, offered to meet us in Billings at Lockwood at their new facility. And so, yeah, we're going to, September 17th, we're going to go over to Billings and play Sydney at Lockwood at 6 p.m.
Kind of an old rival?
Yeah, I mean, old school running attack. They got a bunch of athletes. They're big and physical. It's kind of that old Eastern football style. And so, with us struggling with the run here on defense a little bit, it's just an awesome test. It can do nothing but help us. And so, after this weekend, we're certainly going to gear up and be excited to go play the Sydney Eagles.
Okay, well, Zach, congratulations on the new game. And
Yeah.
now, Connor, as we warned him ahead of time, that time for all the hard questions now. So are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, well, they're not really that hard. So
okay, good.
Okay. First of all, linebacker, outside linebacker, and wide receiver. You said you'd rather be a linebacker than a wide receiver. So I'm thinking. So I'm gonna fine tune it just a little bit. Catching the game-winning pass, or sacking the quarterback.
I think probably then that game-winning pass would probably be a pretty big thing. So, and I mean, if it's game-winning pass, then I mean, it helped win the game. So that's just winning is obviously the goal. So that would probably that would probably be the
that was a good
one.
that was a good answer.
Very good.
Yeah. So Connor, captain, senior, are you a longtime Dillon folk?
Yeah, kind of. I've always been over here. I used to go to school in Twin Bridges, actually. I moved over here in 6th grade. Was my first year here. And then I've just been going over here ever since. I've loved everything about it.
From a Falcon to a Beaver, huh?
Yep, exactly.
And plans for college, do they involve maybe college athletics or?
Yeah, definitely. I think that's always been a big dream of mine, obviously, to play college sports and play at the next level. And so that's obviously a big goal of mine. And
now, you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. Has anybody come knocking on your door yet, sat in the living room and ate mom's homemade cookies?
Not exactly, but I've been talking to some schools, and I don't just not committed anywhere yet or doing anything yet. Just keeping my options open.
Academically, where do you see yourself? What do you want to go for now? Zach's education. What do you want to be? Do you want to be a teacher, coach, or do you have other aspirations?
I'm not 100% sure yet. I'm not really sure, but I think I'm kind of leaning towards either like a business degree or something like pre-med, but I'm not 100% sure yet on that.
Well, you need the business degree when you become a doctor because you're going to have to add up all the bills from your patients and stuff like that. So actually, maybe a double major. I'm sure you can be a double major and pre-med. That's not unlikely.
No.
Remember there was a Carroll quarterback a few years ago, Tyler Emmerich, who lit up not just the Frontier Conference but the NAIA. Now he's Dr. Tyler Emmerich.
Sure.
So, Well, Connor, we want to thank you for coming down. Good luck on Friday. Injury bug hasn't bit you yet?
No, thank goodness.
Good. And keep leading the Beavers. Let's hope when you guys come back next week, we can talk about a Beaver victory. We just want the Beavers to play well, and as Zach says, and you got to love this, have fun. How's it play? One more question. I'm not quite done yet. How's it feel to play for this guy right here? I mean, I remember him when he was a Beaver. So how's it feel to play for him?
It's been awesome. I mean, I love going to practice every day, and I know that he's going to do everything for me. So I'm going to put everything on the line for him as well, and I know that he's always got my back. So just got to put everything on the line for him.
Okay, Connor, Zach, thanks again for coming in and visiting with us on Extra Point. Zach, we'll see you next week, and you'll be bringing another Beaver captain.
Yep.
I want to remind everybody, if you haven't signed up for the Beaver Booster Club, go down to the high school, pick up a form, write your check, and help all phases of Beaver athletics. And I'm thinking the Beaver speech and drama team is also included in that support package. So thank you for everybody. We'll see you next week on Extra Point.